I wanted to talk to you about a slasher movie from, I think, 1981, Final Exam. Now, this movie is free on YouTube. Now, you have to, if you, you can find a lot of free movies on YouTube, but on YouTube, it's mostly the censored version. Now, this movie didn't have a lot of gore to begin with. It's So that's a minus, it doesn't have gore. The story is generic. It's a killer. It's a blatant ripoff of Halloween, Michael Myers, because he stands there and looking and watching somebody through the window, and he's there through the trees and things like that. He has a kitchen knife, killing people, but I'm not sure. I sort of like the movie. It's a fun watch if you don't know what to see. What can I see? Final Exam is. I mean, the characters are fun. You've got not the most. It's directed by Jimmy Huston. Don't know the guy. Cecile Baghdadi, who's Courtney, who's the final girl in the movie, and Joel as Rice as Radish. Radish is the Randy from Scream. He's the person who knows everything about serial killers and horror movies too. But a little bit more paranoid, it's closing the doors and things like that. And he's got a little thing for Courtney. Then you've got Ralph Brew, which is Wildman. Uh, and this guy is he's the jock, basically. And John Fallon is Mark. He's the lead of the fraternity. So, an asshole, basically, a douchebag. And, you know, there's it's plays on this campus, but I like the campus setting because it's final exams. A lot of people aren't there anymore. It's quiet. You got the hallways. It's a good atmosphere. You know, the killer is gonna start killing people, but he waits. It begins with two people getting killed, but then it takes a while to get going again, but it does get going at some point, and he kills Wildman first. He apparently the killer was a stuntman, a real stuntman, because he does some crazy shit. And he knows how to fight, and he beats up Wildman, who's a big guy, and he chokes him with a fitness machine, apparently, that you can choke him and the weight comes down and he's choked. Then Mark gets killed with a knife. Spoilers, by the way. You've got you've got, like I said, what he does, crazy shit. At some point, a and this is a real bow. He shoots with a real bow, an arrow, and he catches midair. And apparently, it was a real arrow. But of course, it's the coach that comes in to try to save the day. But he probably aimed from him, but you see him catch him at midair. So that was real. So that's cool, right? But the kills are, like I said, I like the campus setting because it gives it a nice atmosphere uh, of eeriness because nobody's there, and the ones that are there are getting killed by the maniac. The maniac doesn't have a mask or something; it's just a bloke guy, a regular Joe, a John Doe, and he starts to, you know, shit, my mic wasn't on. Okay. Sorry, my mic wasn't on. So he starts to kill people, and uh, yeah, and basically at some point our final girl Corny is left, but when eventually he steps on a she goes to a tower where she's always sitting and doing her studying and to be alone. Eventually he falls down and she gets down. He grabs her leg. She gets the knife, stabs him like 50 times, and she's crying, and the movie ends. But the killer is definitely dead because he got stabbed like 50 fucking times. But there is a scene in this movie that never would see the light of day in if it would been done today. It's Wild Man have doing a prank to have Mark steal some exams and put his name on it, and you know that he gets through it, because if he failed he has this Mustang or something, Firebird or whatever. He loses the car that his parents said. Now he gets out he gets there with a van. 3 or 4 guys step out with M16, start shooting up the place. A school shooting. Some people get blood squibs on them. They get the people that are hit, and they get away. Now, of course, the ones that get hit are on the prank. They're all with the same fraternity. So, I mean, wouldn't see the light of day today, because now mass school shootings are a terrible thing that's happening around the United States of America. It's a regular thing. But at that point, it's supposed to be a sort of a creepy moment, a scary moment, but you did immediately see that the fact that they're in the car, that they're laughing and this and that, and that someone recognized the van because there's the sticker of their sororities on the back of the car, and they immediately know it's Wild Man. So sorry, I have to check something. Yeah, okay. Uh, so they know it's Wild Man. So the sheriff comes, and it's but the sheriff's like this lazy. He gets angry for Radish calls the police. But wouldn't you call the police if you see that shit happening? Would you see? I mean, if this happened today, the guy would get serious jail time. I bet. He's not gonna get community service or something. No, I think he gets jail time. I mean, come on, doing a prank like that. It's a very sensitive issue today. But he lets him go, okay, and he gets angry to Faradish because he's like, yeah, you called me out. I was eating my lunch, and you called me, and this and that, boy. Like, boy, watch your mouth. Wild Man, one of these days, here's a quarter. You're gonna keep that quarter, because you're gonna use. And he's like, then the coach comes, and he's laughing in a way, but it's just a prank, coach. Or pretty redneck. I'm gonna try to be a redneck. Just coach, uh, it's just fun, coach. It's just a prank. You got too stressed since you become cop. You know, we hunt together, right? Now you need a shotgun with a widespread bullet range. You need widespread bullet range to kill people, kill pheasants. I use a fucking bow and arrow, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like It's okay, but it's a fun movie. It's B slasher movie, but it has a certain charm with the campus being almost isolated. It doesn't have a lot of people there, and the people that are there are getting slaughtered at the end, and it gives a creepy vibe. The way Radish is killed is cool. He, his head. I mean, the killer breaks through the door and gets his head through the hole, and eventually you see him hanging outside the the hole. He's basically being cut to pieces, and I mean there are a few bloody moments, but for the most part it is rather bloodless. But that's a bloody scene. But it's a good movie. It's a good movie. An okay movie. It's an okay slash movie. It's better. You've got lesser. I guarantee you, you got much lesser good, better movies than this. I can guarantee you. So, Final Exam. If you never seen this one, it's free on YouTube. Give it a watch. It's free. And yeah, see you next time.